Hello everyone, this is Michael with Quiet Lawn. I want to tell you a little bit about our new bed maintenance program, what it includes, what kind of weeds we can treat, and what kind of weeds require special treatment or that we can't treat at all. But this is a good example of what we see every day when we're mowing lawns, and that is, you know, it's just a constant battle to keep the weeds out of the beds. And up until this time, we've only offered, you know, just treatment as needed. We might spray it on the beds a couple times a year, but we're seeing that it's just not enough. So we are going to start doing this on a bi-weekly basis, offering a bed maintenance program. And it's going to range, it's going to depend on the square footage of your beds, you know, between $8 and $12 every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks throughout the season. And you know, obviously if you've got a ton of beds, it can be even more than that. But what the plan would include is us coming in here while we're mowing. This is only an add-on for mowing, by the way, so if you're not a mowing customer, unfortunately we don't offer this right now. But what we'll do is, after we do our mowing service every 2 weeks, we're going to come in here and we're going to spot spray all these weeds. And what that's going to do is it's pretty much going to keep down 99% of your weeds. So these beds, this hasn't been on the program. If it was, you know, you would probably not see any weeds in these beds. We're just getting started on it, so these should all die off in the next few weeks, and then we'll be able to stay on top of it and maintain it beyond that point. But it'll work for most weeds, the weed killer. It also includes us spraying the cracks in the driveways. So I know a lot of people have issues with that. You know, it's very unsightly to have weeds growing in all the cracks. So this service would also include us spraying these cracks and also spraying the curb out here where there might be some weeds growing. So, you know, pretty much we're going to be able to keep your most of the weeds on your property down, as far as in your beds and on your driveway. Now let me tell you about one weed. There are others, but there are some weeds that even Roundup or different weed killers can't kill. And one of those is something called yellow nutsedge. And if you see this, it looks a little bit like an onion, like a wild onion. But this is yellow nutsedge. Very, very difficult weed to control. Sometimes you get this in your lawn as well. Weed killer, if you sprayed this with Roundup or weed killers, it won't kill it. It will look like it will kill it. It will burn the blades, and it will look like it will die. But deep down in the ground, there's a nut, which is why they call it nutsedge, and it's very hard to kill it all the way down to that nut. So what happens is everything above the surface might die or brown up, but then it'll come right back. And even worse, the thing about nutsedge is if you pull this, it's going to break off of that nut. And as a defense mechanism, this is going to grow back two in its place. So you can't pull nutsedge. If you try pulling this nutsedge, it's just, you're going to get more and more, and that's probably what's happened in this bed here. You know, very tough weed. We do have a special product that will treat it. It's about $120 for a bottle about the size of a very small aspirin bottle. But we do have it. You know, obviously that bottle will treat a lot of nutsedge, but we do have that. You know, it's a little bit of an additional charge if we have to treat nutsedge, and a lot of times it takes a few times to knock it back, and a lot of times it'll continue to come back. But if you see this weed in your beds or even in your lawn, and you've sprayed it, or you're pulling it and it keeps coming back, that's what you're looking at. It's nutsedge. There's different types of nutsedge. You know, and it's always a challenge to get it out of the lawn and out of your beds. But most weeds we can pretty much get out, and we can also get the nutsedge out. Like I said, it's just going to require a special chemical just for sedges. Here you can see it a little bit smaller. This is what you'll see most of the time. It's rare that it gets big like this, especially in the lawn. But that's what it looks like. So if you're seeing that in your lawn or in your beds, that's nutsedge. And if it's driving you crazy that you can't get rid of it, that's why. I just wanted to show you a little bit about our new bed maintenance program, talk about some of the things we can and can't do. and some of the weeds that are, more of a challenge to treat. And definitely nut sedges, different sedges are one of those. Thanks, and have a great day.